Kelman, who's in 17.
Yeah, he had to win a race eventually, Kelman. He'd had plenty of chances. He finished behind Etna at Doncaster first time out. I do feel that he's not certain to be as effective over 7, although he did run well over 7 on his final outing last year. But he got the job done last time, and that might elicit a bit of improvement now he's got his head in front.
Paven was soon struggling behind Sharda over at Newmarket over 6 furlongs. I mean, was there something wrong? Did he not handle the track?
Actually, I was just chatting with David Ellsworth. He thinks he's not very well handicapped. But still, he should have run better than he did, and he finished last, and the jockey gave up. There's a possibility he didn't act. There's a possibility he needs polytrack. That was his first run on turf. And also, David said that he was a little bit het up in the preliminaries. Now, he was not bad in the preliminaries at all, as you can see from these pictures.
Next we have Lancelot Dulac, who is steadily improving as a 2-year-old. This is his seasonal debut.
And he ran really well over course and distance, which I always think is a bonus. So he goes on the track. He's got Ryan Moore, who's only ridden had 3 rides for Dean Ivory in the recent past, and one of them was a winner. So interesting contender, although you'd expect one from this yard to need the run. Quite a few of them haven't been in early weeks of the season.
A couple of new things for Mundahesh. Well, 3 things, in fact. This is his seasonal debut, first time he's raced in 2013. He's been gelded for the season, and he's wearing a hood for the first time.
Yeah, a little bit dull, wearing some bandages on his hind legs, which is something that William Haggas does with a lot of his horses, so I don't think we should read too much into that. I don't think he looks particularly well handicapped on the bare form of his Wolverhampton win, which we came at very short odds in any case.
Right, those were recorded shots. Let's now move to live shots and see if we can find number 10, Right Touch, and another of Richard Fahey's performances as well, Fantasise. But if we start with Right Touch, who's in the red and green hoops, George Challoner, informed George Challoner is on board. This horse is steadily improving this year. He was second at Warwick and then bettered that with a win at Ripon over 6 furlongs.
Yeah, I'm not sure he had to better that to win at Ripon. I think there was a really, really good time performance at Warwick, and although he was beaten a couple of lengths, I think his Ripon win came as a result of just a little ease in grade, actually, from the maiden second to the win. This is a step up in grade, but he's gone well on a tight right-handed course before. Sorry, a tight left-handed course before Warwick, and there's a slight left-handed kink here after they run off the dog leg. I think they've got lots in his favour, not least the fact that his jockey's riding in confident vein.
Let's find his stable companion, the filly Fantasise, who's in the white colours with the navy epaulets. She was the creditable 7th behind Zanetto in the Tattersall 6 furlong trophy. Yeah,
and I thought that was a really good heralding a return to something like her best from last season. She wears blinkers these days, but she was 5th in the Cherry Hinton last year, a group race run at the Newmarket July meeting. So she has pretensions to being very well handicapped. She was quite much on her toes in the preliminaries, and the efforts at the back end over 7 and the first run of the season over a mile suggest that she might be best at 6, but she's a big enough price to throw a few pounds at it in a race that will take a bit of winning.
And the one horse that we haven't yet discussed is number 5, Lazarus Bell. Dale Swift is in the yellow colours with the blue diamond and the blue sleeves, predominantly blue cap. One of this horse's best efforts came in a maiden at Newmarket July's course, and also a 3rd at Sandown in a novice event. And
the form of his 5th first time out for a new yard since for Musselburgh has been upheld with the Musidora effort of Romantic Settings, who finished 2nd in that race. Sorry, I beg your pardon, who won that race but finished 2nd in the Musidora. Alan Brown, stable in form, winner at Musselburgh this week. So you'd expect a little bit more improvement from Lazarus Bell. It was a little bit from him first time out.
He was trained by Brian Meehan last year. He has been gelded for 2013, and this is his 2nd start for Alan Brown. 11-2 joint favourites then, Mundahesh and Robot Boy. Right Touch is 7-1, Unknown Villain 7-1 from Tenzin has been backed, 8-1 and upwards the rest. Just a quick note, Amy Ryan has got a 2-day ban for excessive use of her whip on Bogart in the Duke of York Stakes, and Jamie Spencer reported on the stable companion Tiddlywinks that the horse changed his legs and seemed to lose his action badly, so he pulled him up up, but he then appeared to be OK afterwards, and you'll remember that we showed you some shots of him having a good drink afterwards, and he did seem to be OK. So that's the report from the Ryan Yard from the big race. Final thoughts here?
Final thoughts, there should be a bit of pace on. George Rook and possibly Steel River. Unknown Villain, I thought, was open to a good deal of improvement. I thought the fillies, Fantasise and Aetna, were worth considering at mid prices. Right Touch is really solid with a decent £5 claimer, but it's a very difficult race. If you're doing your money today, good luck in this getting out.
Absolutely. Last one, the Cooper's Marquise Stakes. It's over 7 furlongs for the final time. Let's join Stuart.
It's a tough puzzle to solve, isn't it? Many will be following in Richard Fahey with one of his trio here, the Fahey team having taken each of the last 2 runnings of this race, 12 months ago with Baccarat, who was the man of Paul Hannigan. Down now to the last couple. George Rook is about to go in, that will leave Up Avon. A Right Touch, a little bit edgy in the stalls. Stall 6. 1 or 2 of these have been in for a while now. Aetna. George Rook is keen to get out. Now he's gone in, throwing his nose-banded head around, but they're all in. They're off for the Cooper's Marquise Stakes over 7 furlongs. Up Avon and Steel River from wide draw seem to take a pull on coming from the stalls. The Mick Easterby pair of Old Man Clegg in the blue and white and Aetna the red and white were away quickly, lead them through the first furlong. Kelman crossing over from out wide to join them, chased by Lazarus Bell up the fence, and then Fantasise, the nose-banded George Rook and Right Touch in the red and green hoops. Unknown Villain and Dream Maker are next, with Robot Boy Spencer Maroon Jacket tucked away on the inside. Wider out mid-pack to Line of Reason, a striped sleeve jacket who's shadowed by Up Avon. Blue Lotus in the dark blue is towards the rear, with Lancelot Dulac more in the green and yellow. Mundahesh striped cap away to the right, and Steel River is just last of a well-grouped field as they drift centre to near side beyond halfway and down to the 3. Aetna from Old Man Clegg, Kelman closest to the fence, tracked there by George Rook. Fantasise in the headgear ridden along. Right Touch, the green and red, looking for a bit of daylight. Lazarus Bell is on the right of the group, and further right Unknown Villain and Robot Boy. Dream Maker, red jacket, all dressed up, nowhere to go as they head for the last furlong and a half. Lazarus Bell with the pearl blue sleeves has come to challenge Old Man Clegg. Aetna, Right Touch now finds daylight. Unknown Villain and Robot Boy are staying on. Then Kelman, more flying late on Lancelot Dulac. The yellow cap bursts through, finds a bit of daylight late on. Could be Moore's Day. Lancelot Dulac grabs the lead close home. Moore driving for the line. George Rook finishing off late for a place, but it's Moore's Day with 3 up as Lancelot Dulac takes the finale. A whole bunch involved for a place. The judge will need to sort out Unknown Villain, Dream Maker, Lazarus Bell, Old Man Clegg, Steel River, George Rook and Aetna.
A treble for Ryan Moore on the first day of York's Dante Festival. He wins the last race for Dean Ivory on Lancelot Dulac, a team-up that Eddie had pointed out before the race isn't too often in evidence, but Ryan has really made it work here in Lancelot Dulac. An improving 2-year-old has improved again on his 3-year-old debut. The judges needed to separate 2nd, 3rd and 4th, and we'll bring you the result of the photo as soon as we have it. Let's have a look at the closing stages, in which Lancelot Dulac, having been patiently ridden towards the rear, towards the centre of the track, burst through inside the final furlong.
Yeah, it's taken a similar route, if a bit more crowded one than he took earlier on his previous winner for Hughie Morrison, but he's burst through and won convincingly from a whole host of horses bunching up. Aetna didn't quite get home, and coming through late in the yellow colour Steel River, an eye-catching run. We'll talk about that later, but there's 5 or 6 of them in line. We wait for the judge.
Yeah, Lazarus Bell is in there from the looks of things.
And Old Man Clegg, who's right in the middle with the blue colours, and the aforementioned Steel River. Stand side George Rook isn't far away. It's desperate. There's the result for
Lazarus Bell.
3rd, number 17. 4th,
3rd,
number 15.
Old Man Clegg.
And 5th, number 2.
And 4th, Unknown Villain. 5th is Steel River. So, from the start, let's cover Aetna first off. She's gone far too strongly through her race. I thought at Doncaster on her debut that she shapes like a sprinter, and maybe a drop back in trip might suit her. Yeah,
she's a strong traveller. She's tracked the pace with her stablemate on the inside, Old Man Clegg, who's clung on. He's got more stamina, certainly stays further than this. Kelman also was up with the pace early, and the other horse with red with the white sleeves. George Rook, the noseband towards the stands rail. Right out the back, Steel River, who was steadied from stall 15. You took that as a negative. It turned out it was, because Ted Durkin decided to steady him from stall 15 and come with a late run, which hasn't got into the placings. In the end, he's finished 5th, but you'll see in a minute he had anything but an easy passage through. He's tried to track the winner here on Steel River, who is about 4 from the right, yellow and green colours, and Ryan Moore got the run and burst through and put the race to bed fairly decisively. Etna was still in front until the last furlong, when she's died, suggesting that your theory about 6 furlongs is almost certainly correct. George Rook kept plugging away stand side. The handicap will be pleased with him in